Hi, folks. Welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob on this beautiful, no, not really, just very hot, July 30th, 2025. Hey, my guest today is an old friend from the Pawtucket area, and he happens to be the mayor of Pawtucket. He was a councilman first, and he became the mayor, and he's been the mayor 12 years?
15.
No way.
Yep.
15 years?
Yeah, I'm in 15 now, yeah.
Wow.
Goes by fast, right?
Mayor Don Grebien, folks.
Great to be here, Bob, and thank you.
15 years.
Yep. So it goes, I mean, you think about that. My wife and I were talking about it, and, there was what we're going to do in next year.
Right.
And so we're definitely running, and so I'll make the announcement here, staying there. But you're thinking about.
So you run in 2026.
Yeah. So, and having said that, though, we were just sitting there going, it's been 8 terms, it'll be, when I serve, but it goes by so fast. And again.
Now, by the way, you were council before that.
Yeah, I had 11 years on the council. 2 is.
So you got 26 years?
Yeah, at the end of this, I'll have 27. If people in the Pawtucket are still with me, I'll have 2 more. But right at the end of this term, it'll be 27 years I would have had in government.
Well, and let's go back to what, Phil's? Or was it Phil's Restaurant or
Yep.
Debbie's Grill? Which one?
It was Phil's.
It was Phil's, because it was Debbie's before it was Phil's.
Yep.
And you worked with my brother.
Yep. Work with your brother. Yep. Victor, and God rest his soul, great guy.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
Yep.
He taught me a lot of things I should have known, but it was good.
And he died young. Victor
he's
died
very
at
young,
49.
yeah.
And you know who loved you? I know you do. My sister Rita.
Rita, yeah, I know.
Oh
Rita
my
was
God.
great.
She was so pissed when I ran against you when we ran that election.
I just found a picture that you had given me that you dropped off probably a few years ago, but with her, myself, Alana.
Later on, yeah,
right. And it was from like the Mativia campaign or something.
Right.
I just brought it home because I found it in my stuff, and my wife's like going, "Oh, you were young once?" And who are those people?
Really? Really? You still look great. What do you mean you're young? And
Well,
you
that's
look better
only 'cause
than
I lost
ever.
It's because I lost the weight, so
Yeah.
thank God for the shot. I tell everybody, but I feel good, energy's good, so all good. Health's all good, knock on wood. And
Now, what is that? The shot you got to take once a month?
once a week.
Once a
and,
week?
Yeah, Manjaro.
I
is one
hate
of them.
needles.
It's more like an EpiPen. It's not.
Really?
Yeah. It's just a push, and you're in either the leg or your stomach. So nothing. Honestly, God, it's easy. I told you, I was telling you earlier, had some
Side effects?
Side effects. That's weird. Not bad, but
Minor.
yeah. But where I am a year later, and 80 pounds later, and much more energy.
Wow.
I'm happy.
Because you fought for years
Always
to
have.
keep the weight. You
Yeah.
tried everything.
Up, down. I mean, if you remember, as a young gentleman, a kid, I graduated from high school, right? I was like 200 some odd pounds in high school until my senior year, and then I got down to like 200.
Wow.
But I've always been big. My dad's big.
Right.
My mother will kill me. She's bigger now, but but no, all kidding aside, my dad, my brother, and I. So, well, it's great to be here.
And that's not healthy to
No,
be
you realize
carrying
it.
that kind of weight.
Yep. I tell you, I was sluggish. You don't realize it till you lose it.
And the other thing, it drags on your heart. That's how my sister died, I think. She
Yeah.
died of a heart
Yeah, 'cause
attack,
she
and
was heavy,
she
yeah.
got heavy, and I'm sure that she would have benefited by that.
Yeah.
And
Everybody. I mean,
I
it's
think back to when I was
younger.
4 years younger than her. When she was 17, 18 years old, she looked like Raquel Welch.
Yeah,
she had
she
a
was
killer
gorgeous,
body. I
yeah.
mean, she was a beautiful woman, first of all, and she had a killer body.
Yep.
And then I saw her as time
Yeah,
went
time
on.
Age takes over.
Time takes its toll.
That and
Plus,
and
she's a
gravity.
great cook, so she had to test all the food she was eating. She wasn't that big, but she gained a few pounds, so to speak.
Yep.
So 15 years.
Yep. So listen. We've had some challenges. I hear constantly. You think about where we were 15 years ago. I think we're in a much better position today. But when I came in, we were financially struggling.
Right.
Almost a state takeover. We're financially solid now. But in those 8 terms, or 15 years.
Yeah, you raised my taxes a few times.
Absolutely no, and and you do our best, and the council's really good because I mean this honestly, right? We don't always agree, but we have a good working relationship,
Right.
and you try to balance. This year here was a really unique. We try to keep it. State law now is 4%. You can rate. We try not to hit the 4%. We went over the 4%. Because of debt service, the calculation,
Right.
Because of the schools, right? And that's the challenge, right? And you're trying to.
Oh, 3 big schools, man.
Right. I mean, that's
Baldwin School. You said
Baldwin.
remodel. No, that's a brand new school. I mean, the whole thing is I live, you know where I
Yeah,
live, the next
no,
street over.
And we've been investing, and it's, it's those investments, and they come with a cost. We try to do the best we can rolling off the debt, right? And you get it, right? You're trying to make sure that Fitch and Moody's are all, your bond rating stays up, so we had to bring it up.
What's your
We keep
bond
it
rating?
there.
What's our bond rating?
A plus. So we're in
Nice.
decent shape. It could be a little better.
Right.
The next level, it's just so much in reserves, and we could do it, but we would killing everybody in taxes. So that's the balance that we work out. But like you said, we've remodeled Potter Burns school. Not we, but school committee, right?
Burns, yeah.
Financially, the council.
Brand new Winters.
Right. So Potter Burns was remodeled. Nathaniel Green was remodeled because the bones were good. Winters brand new. Baldwin. And
Now the new
with
high school.
New high school. And the other couple that are really, we have to take a look at, but it's about capacity. And it really is about the residents' capacity too, because we don't want to kill everybody on taxes, right? We're paying it just like everybody else, right? Our costs are up at home with our milk and our bread, and so is it when it comes to the employees. And so we have the unified high school that'll be, they already took down McCoy, and they've got the ground all working on that, the drainage and stuff. So it's probably 4 years out.
I was there for the
That's right, yeah, for the
digging.
So we got exciting things happening. We got the soccer stadium, but we still have our challenges. You think about, even though we're investing in our schools, we have a new superintendent, acting superintendent who's great, has a whole different
What happened
vision.
with the other one? Can you talk
Yeah,
about
it was.
that?
I mean, again, it's hard to talk about because we have.
She's suing?
Yeah, she's suing. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like that because I'm a
no, but
I'm
she's
a
made it something it's
taxpayer.
not.
Huh?
She came into a community that she didn't understand and didn't want to participate or respect, and got into the old isolated. We're going to do it my way, and under her leadership, we had 4 new schools fall into failing, which is called the old transformation model. So we have right now, under her leadership, we had 1 that was already there, 4 that went in. So we have 5 schools that are underperforming. That's 47% of our students. So the writing was on the wall,
Yep.
RIDE was involved, so it became the lawsuit, as the exit strategy for her, as I say it. So we've got a new superintendent, acting Randy Buck, great vision, and we've got to get those test scores up. We've got a lot of challenges. We've been investing in our schools, the infrastructure, but we have to get better at the schools. And what people don't understand is, and as mayor, we own everything, right? As mayors, as town managers, and we don't have control over it. That's your school committee working in partnership
Right.
with the council, so you try to influence that. But I feel really strong about this superintendent, acting superintendent, the vision. He's working with RIDE. RIDE is working with us to, bring in professionals, start doing some hiring, some additional dollars. So having said that, though, we still, financially, schools are a major factor.
And your hands are tied when it comes to schools because you don't have nothing to do with the budget, right?
I mean,
That's the school committee.
yeah, this year, as an example, they came in and asked for some additional dollars.
Right.
We put some additional dollars in, and then it became a give and take.
Yep.
And they lost on that one. Having said that, though, because what happened this year is when we go out and we bond for all these projects, it's really the city that's paying for it. We go out and borrow, we pay the debt on the city side. And again, I'm splitting hairs, but it's still your taxpayer dollars, mine, schools or city, but that debt is on our book,
Right.
not on theirs. And we balance through that. So again, having said that, this year here, because of the former superintendent not understanding the process, really screwed that up, for lack of better terminology, financially. And we had a big bump and an increase this year in the taxes because of the school.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, we try to do our best, but you see things moving. But like anything else, we're still living under, what's going on with Memorial. And I'll give you updates where we are. And people, hold the elected officials, myself, the council, as if we have control. We have influence, but no control. It's privately owned. Memorial Hospital went through we had a developer come in looking at this.
And what happened with that anyway, Memorial?
So it became, we know that the state in New England at the time, the leadership at that
Right.
closed it down. At that point, myself, members on the council were out there fighting against it, challenged the state, and we lost. We didn't have any control of it, so they closed it down. Again, it was the medical profession was bad then, the services, and it's horrible now. It's gotten worse, right? So at that time, they were arguing we had too many beds, so that's why they closed Memorial, and it was a crock of BS. And now we're living with those consequences. So we have the vacant building. It was bought. It was bought
And then
by a
all the
private.
pipes burst.
So what they did was they came in and they Care New England still owns a portion of that. It was
Who
condoed
does?
out. Care New England. So I'll do the Pawtucket way. The front entrance, which is the back side, you know where they had their cancer treatment, Bob? You come in the main driveway.
Right, yeah.
Care New England condoed that out. They own the property that's there, the older mansion, the old building on the right.
Right, on Pond Street.
On Pond, and on Beecher, they own all the way to Beecher.
Okay.
So, in the parking lot. Where the hospital starts to Prospect Street is owned by the private developer. Private developer come in, paid $250,000 for that,
That's all?
right?
I would have bought it for that kind of money.
Went out and he borrowed against it, borrowed $10 million, invested,
There you
shot
go.
down.
There you go.
All right, so he took the value out of the property. We've been working
So
with,
he made the money and his investors took it in the shorts.
and the two people that he borrowed are now in working with us, the Attorney General, and I'll explain the Attorney General in a minute, piece of it, to what the next steps are. The Attorney General is involved because it was a hospital all those years, and many people over the years invested dollars and committed dollars. There's an obligation, and it's a cypre agreement. The Attorney General has to make sure that those dollars that were used in there are committed because they bought the property with investor dollars. Investors put in for a hospital. So they have to have certain opportunities in the building to go forward. So they worked out with the Attorney General and the courts. They've committed to doing a 20%, so take the hospital itself, 100% of that property only, 20%.
Now we're talking about the front,
The front part, yeah.
on Prospect
Yeah,
Street.
and the hospital itself forward.
Right.
And also the old boiler room, it's over there, they own that. So 20% has to be affordable, resident, 20% has to be for senior and veterans, and 20% has to be a medical use to meet the original investors' dollars and their commitment in that money.
So that leaves 40%.
40%, and they've allowed this developer, will allow 40% market rate property.
Right.
And the developer, Keith Lee, which is, Phoenix Group, they're out of New York. They have control of it. They're signing all the agreements with the state and the federal, and they've been there a year. That's what takes so long. They will get that cleared, and then they're coming forward over the next 30, 60 days. They have to put a conceptual plan together. So there's some caveats and some opportunity for us to hold them accountable as opposed to it being vacant. In the meantime, it's still a public safety hazard. It's, they're out there, they have to clean it, we gotta
They got to
maintain
watch it.
Yeah.
Somebody don't burn it down.
We've had issues, we have the vagrants in there. You talked about when they were
Right.
in there, they had the
The
water
homeless
pipe.
were in there.
Yeah, and so you have those challenges, and that's a great neighborhood, and
Yeah.
people were living with that vacant property for years, and
Yep.
so we're trying to protect everybody. But again, on the bright side, the investors are excited because
The
they're
investors
stating-
are out, what, 9 million already?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not, that's a
9
hell
to
of
10
a,
million, yeah.
that's a hell of a way to start.
Plus whatever else they put in.
Right.
So that's why they needed to go through the process to try to get a higher, return in the cypre. That's why I think originally the market rate housing was only like a 5% of the whole mix. So they went back and renegotiated
Right.
to make sure that it met the original, to get more out of it so they can get their value back. Having said that, they'll come in with a plan. Care New England with their property, they're having their challenges right now with their strike at Butler and the SEI union.
Well, wait, didn't they just settle that strike?
I heard it was close, but I didn't see yesterday or today. I've been behind on the news, so I'll be honest with you. I
Yeah.
know they were supposedly close. I hope they have.
I know not the people themselves, but the
union itself.
union heads
Yeah.
supposedly agreed on something.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
you hear things and whether they're true or not, but these workers, everybody got treated unfairly. You get all sides, and that's the
Yeah,
hard part,
yeah.
but at the end, these people were without jobs, without money coming in, and so they, though, Care New England, had put in a proposal to build a new facility for primary care on the Pond Street side. So they want to build close to the street,
Right.
Then eventually take down the older buildings,
That's the oldest section
yeah,
of the
older
hospital.
section, and build new.
I spent 6 months in that hospital.
Did you really?
When I was 6 years old. I got burnt in a fire. And I lived in that hospital for 6 months.
I mean,
in the old section.
They had great, like anything else, they had great care. The doctors were good, like anything else. It's not them. They found an issue that I had, and I was having some problem. I had spinal cord leakage, and it was causing headaches.
Yep.
It was they identified it, you know.
Really?
And then I had to go get treated at Boston. But
So you were leaking spinal fluid?
yeah, so
That'll give you headaches.
yeah, so and I joked around because I said what was happening is the fluid around your brain.
Yep.
My brain was settling, so I make the joke saying, at least I know everybody tells me I don't have a brain. Now I
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
I got to confirm. But,
You were lightheaded. You were lightheaded, that's
yeah.
for sure.
But so I mean, but it was a great hospital. So you've got that project. It means a lot, and we need to move on it. We've got the high school. We're working very closely with Governor McKee and Commerce on what we call 1B of the development on Tidewater. So we got the soccer stadium. It's been very successful.
I was there for the opening night.
Yeah. I mean, good. Like everything, it's a great atmosphere. People are excited.
Yep.
Now we're trying to finalize the development across the way.
On the other side.
There's a commitment of.
Well, the problem is
Yeah.
that they used the money for the soccer stadium
Correct,
because of
the
everything
shift, right?
went up.
And the governor went out on a limb for
Right.
Pawtucket and the Blackstone Valley. Did the right thing because it's proven to be financially solvent.
Right.
Even though we heard all of that, but did those right things. So now we're working on the funding with the private entity because they have the riverside and the other side.
You got to
So
have the walking bridge
the bridge,
across.
they have rough
Parking garage.
Yes, in the parking, it's still not going to be enough to solve the issues with the stadium.
Right.
But they're looking at 300 plus market rate housing.
Right.
And about 73 or 4 affordable units.
Now, is that all at Parents Marina?
Yeah,
The
all
old
the way up.
Parents
So
Marina.
it would go up to where the marina is now.
Right.
All the way on Division Street to where,
Division Street
all the way along School Street on
School
Division
Street.
Street as well. So there'll be about 400 units of mixed use,
so close to
affordable.
where Apex is.
No, it wouldn't go that far. It would come up to Division to where the doctor's office is. Well, now it's the,
Oh, yeah.
right? So up to that.
Right.
Then,
Prospect and Division.
yeah, so there, when the council and the administration worked closely with the developers, we gave them, the council, because they have the authority, but the council gave the folks at Rhode Island Football Club, the Tidewater Group, 5-year to develop allowed use on the other side. So they gave them development rights for 5 years to,
Right.
to bring in the project. That will be going, they'll make their deadlines unless there's another financial, bombshell. And we're now working on Apex because the city over the last couple of years acquired Apex.
Right.
We acquired, the Apex Tire. We
And the other place there,
other lot, the George's Games.
George's Games, yeah.
But we also acquired, the city through the Pawtucket redevelopment, acquired Manning and Heffron Funeral Home,
No kidding.
as well as the green space next to it.
And you're right at the water there.
Correct.
You're right near the waterfall.
So we went out last year and did the RFP, the request for proposals on the development. We had 5 proposals come in. At that same time, and I don't mean to bore you, last September, a year ago September, is when Hasbro said they were leaving.
Yes.
And we were doing everything we can to keep them. We're still trying.
Right.
They're very silent on what they're doing. We
Yeah.
hear different stories.
I don't know why they want to move to Boston. Traffic, parking, I
Agreed.
mean, it's
The employees
crazy.
don't. It's
You've
the-
got a bigger advantage here.
Right. And the market is a lot less costly here.
Yeah.
I think there's an image, and I get
Oh,
that.
absolutely. That's absolutely the reasoning.
Right. But I still believe that they're better here in Rhode Island, but in Pawtucket. We've got different tools, so we're much more competitive. So we pitched them, when we went out for the Apex proposal for all those properties.
Right.
We put them on hold and we were trying to work with Hasbro.
So, yeah, in other words, pitching Hasbro
Pitch it as
there,
the anchor there.
where the Apex is.
Correct, where the Apex
Where
site
they'd have
is.
great visibility. Was
highway.
150,000 cars drive on.
Absolutely, you got the
right?
numbers.
About
right?
150?
Yeah, yep. And so there's excitement. So, they have a model that they're going to. They're not, I got to respect them. They're a private business. They're going to do what's best for them.
And they just lost somebody in the family, right?
Yeah, Alan Hasenfeld just passed away, and a great guy. And, there's not as much commitment or connection to Rhode Island any longer. Alan was probably the last Rhode Island person
right.
left. So we went out for bid and we put those on hold and said Hasbro, and Hasbro we still have on the table. We are going back out for bid, trying to keep Hasbro in the mix. Because I don't want to be the one. I know they're better off here in Pawtucket. I know the numbers make sense. And we've committed to bringing in a developer, and we could make them fit if they choose to.
Right.
Having said that, we'll go back out on the street for request for qualification and proposal over the next month to allow everybody that put in, because it's been a year and all the numbers are outdated with all the tariffs and inflation
Right,
has changed. So we want to give everybody opportunity to bid. We're hopeful, vision, we're hoping to have residential, mixed use, residential, commercial, a little commercial space if Hasbro stays, some retail. So we see that as another tax generating opportunity for us in the next 5 years. So they're great, exciting things, right? It's trying to manage it all because basically keep your taxes down,
Yeah.
right? And the quality of life.
You must have trouble sleeping at night, man.
That's the one thing I don't, right?
No?
No, knock on wood.
Oh my God, because you got everything against you.
Yeah, I know, it's
I
been
mean,
tough.
you're
But I think,
shoveling crap against the wall and trying to make it stick.
but I think people, and I mean this honestly, right? We're not perfect. We've made mistakes, right? I've been there so long. People are saying, "Oh, it's time, right? It's time for a change." The argument is,
Well, who go to
consistency.
change? Who you go to put there?
Right.
And
And
if you
not
had
only that
somebody
is-
better than you, it'd be different.
Yeah, no, and I mean, fortunately, right? It's about the people I put around, the people you
Right.
work with, and the
Right.
vision, right? But if we didn't have this consistency, right? And the flip argument is that what happens is you change every 6 years, right? I mean, the average mayor was 6 years, so does the philosophy. So we're able to get stuff done because I've been here this long, right?
Right.
Not I'll make the joke, somebody will tell you in spite of me, you know what I mean? But the people around you. And so we have a vision, we have the Pawtucket Foundation, working closely with our partners. We finally have all these developers wanting to come in, right? Because there's value. The stadium gives us that excitement. The waterfront gives the value. Think about this, Bob, and I don't mean to talk your ear off if you want to get specific questions.
That's what you're here for.
No, I know, but I want to, so the old Toppies, Dexter Street, right?
Yeah.
Dexter Street
What-
Commons.
What's that they're building that? The
100
high rise.
100 and, I don't want to lie to you, but 140 units, both market and affordable. But think
What
about
percentage affordable?
that. I think it's about 20%.
Because I know it has to, it's a
Well,
formula.
it has to be 10. They
Right.
went above.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they want to do above, and we know we have to do that.
Toppy's packing. I used
Right.
to do business with them back in the day.
Absolutely.
That's
Me
how
too.
long I've been around.
And you think about that, right? But this is next to the stadium was a big, investment in the city. It's probably one of the biggest we've seen.
Right.
This one here is 150 units, like brand new housing. We've got that going on. And then we have a mill owner. I was out at the mills on Whedon Street and Barton. There's a developer out there. It's Garfield Spencer, but I can't think of what it's.
Well, you got what's her name from Channel 10, Allison
Allison,
Bologna.
she's got no. So there's all this excitement happening. It's trying to capitalize on.
Well,
it.
by the way, I'll give it to you
Yeah.
real good. You did a great thing with the train station there. Was a home run.
Yeah, I mean, I say that why I happen to be the right person at the right time, but it wasn't. We got it with Mayor Diosa, and then it was Mayor Rivera. We were able to come together. Senator Reed. It was pulling the partners together, and that's the value of
Now
the
they're
relationship.
making it a permanent.
Yeah,
like
the
a place,
bathroom, yeah.
bathrooms and stuff.
Like government does, they cut out the bathrooms
Right.
and the.
Instead of the money they blew down there in Wakefield
Right.
to have 6 people stay there, you got a parking lot. What is it? 200?
Yeah, and right next
And it's
to
always full.
Yeah, and it's full.
I
And
go by there all the time.
I'm going to go where old Roberts Chemical was, where they burned down.
what?
Roberts Chemical, right next door.
Oh, yeah.
The land that's vacant. So that went through receivership. Frank Cruz, developer out of Providence, bought that property, I think like a little over $1 million. He's in front of with us working. He just got approved for 150 units there. He's finishing his financial stacking. He's working with the state. He's doing some affordable, because that's what we have to do, whether we like it or not, is a trade-off. We have
Now that's
to do
on
some-
Barton?
So it would be, right on, Pine, on the corner
okay.
of Pine. You know where Armando's Meat Market is?
Yes,
Right
yes.
next, so if you're looking at it, it's going to be right
Oh,
next to the parking
Well,
lot.
Union Warden.
Yep, Union Wadding's on the right, on the other. But Union Wadding is owned by that group that I was mentioning, Garfield Spencer. They've got hundreds and hundreds. They've redeveloped Union Wadding. They bought a lot of the mills across the way on Whedon Street. We're just in some of them. They've got hundreds of units, and they're at 95% capacity.
Wow.
People are excited because not our generation, right? We want our car. We want to park right up against the front door.
Yep.
The younger generation, they want the amenities. They want, to live in the mill buildings.
They want the
access to
15-foot ceilings.
and they
they're
want to
not
be
even
right next to
thinking
the
about.
train, right?
Yeah, they want the train to
Right?
go to Boston.
And it's a lot cheaper here than it is in Boston. So the commute.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
I mean, we joke all the time. I want to go to the beach. I have to pack an overnight bag, right? It's nothing in the new. It's on the train.
Yep.
It's different, but it's exciting. We have really these good things happening. It's just trying to keep all the balls in the air, and balance all the responsibilities. So, you know, one of the challenges we have, like police and fire, right? Those are great
Always.
jobs, but I mean, we have, you know, we've had some of our challenges with some of the offices, you know, and that's,
Oh, God, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Having said that though, but we're struggling with getting qualified people to come in, right? When I started years ago, there'd be 300 to 400 applicants for police, and there'd be 500 to 800
Well,
in
back
fire.
in the day, they actually used to sell them.
Right. I mean, you and I know those stories, right?
They actually
Right?
sold the jobs.
Right. Right. No, I got it.
I go back to the administration.
Yep. No, and so, and now if you're lucky, you get 40 to 50.
Right.
You know, and so people, because, you know, it's a different time. People don't respect, and I'm not saying all the time.
Right.
There's a balance, right? We've gone through
It's
some
sad.
major-
It's very sad. My nephew's a sergeant.
that's
on
right.
Pawtucket
Yeah, Jess is
Police
over
Force.
there, yep.
And I get scared.
And but he's honest to God, and there are some really good, hard workers, but he's one of the better ones, the best. You know what I mean? And it's funny now, even now, right? Overtime, you know, the details. That's where everybody used to, you know, look to make up some additional money
Right.
it was
Right.
great. You know,
Now you got Kelly, who's not even a cop anymore, doing
and
them.
we're still short, right? The younger generation.
Well, they don't want to work the overtime.
Yeah, it's about life balance.
Right.
And I wish I would have learned what they learned at their age, because I'd be a lot better. We would be a lot
Right,
better.
exactly.
But honestly, those are the challenges. But, you know, and like I said, and then you've got the fail-on, you've got the neighborhoods that you're still trying to balance. And, you know, all the districts have some decent representation. You know, they've got, you know, the Terry Mercers, who family have been born and raised here. That's in the 3rd District Council, but a kid, the Dave Morans, you know.
Right.
So they're caring people that are involved in all through the district. So we've got a, you know, really good council. You know, we have some really good reps and senators. Again, we don't always agree on everything, you know,
Yep.
but they care. And so at the end of the day, we're all there for the right reasons. We might not see the pathway, but we get there, you know. But like I said, over the next year, it really is keeping the development going so it offsets the taxes, you know, because that's new revenue coming in, and really focusing in on the schools. Because the schools, you know, buildings are in great shape. Now we got to get the education system, and I feel very confident with the.
So what's going to happen in my high school? Pawtucket West.
So don't.
Shea.
Yeah, no. So here, it's not been determined, right? So we have not. Even,
I want to buy it.
Shea. So here's what I can tell you. We know, right? Everybody's talked about. We were just talking about the John Barrys of the world, the Mayor Doyle's, God rest his soul, right? Tolman should be apartments, right? You know, or condos, right? We see the value that the riverfront lofts have brought, both from bodies, people, you know, the excitement, and from a tax perspective.
Sure.
So Tolman makes sense to be in that, on the water, that type of development. And there's no obligation to the state, so the city can decide at some point in time, but it won't be for 5 years. It'll be the council. They'll do a public
There's nothing
process.
owed to the state, you mean?
Right. Because the money that was used for over the years in that school, we've
Right.
exhausted our obligation. Shea, on the other hand, there's a few years left of money that's been put into the school.
Oh,
So we either have to buy out or buy out the time.
buy out the state?
Yeah,
the
you
money
pay
you
them
owe
back,
state,
whatever the
pay back
difference
the
is,
state.
right? The way it works. So we'll get to that. We may be close enough at the end that it might not matter. That could be, you know, there has been talk over the years that could that become Slater, because Slater is so
Right.
expensive to invest in. But then you got the historic value of Slater and the memories in that school. So right now, Shea is open. It could be, you know, personally, I'm not going one way or another, but I could see it as condos that would fit that neighborhood, or apartments,
Right.
or as a school use that's been there. Then the schools are doing their physical plan analysis that we're obligated to do every 5 years. So, you know, they're going to look at the facility. So it'll be out September, October, on all, you know, where we are, where we stand, and what are the needs of all the other schools. But from our old, right, Nathaniel Green's great, so I'm starting. You get to Cunningham. Cunningham's a challenge. It's a great local school.
Right.
The building is not worth investing in, so there's going to have to be some
That's
decisions
got a lot of
there.
electric. Doesn't it have? Does it have an electric heat in that building?
They did, and so did Winters. And if you remember, over
Terrible.
the years, they used to put those modular classrooms, you know, and
Right.
then they built around it.
Yep.
There are major issues with that. So Cunningham would be either a knockdown rebuild. However, there's now conversations, nothing formal, because we have to go out to a formal process, but our numbers are so down in the school, we could close 2 of our elementary schools.
Really?
And do some consolidation number-wise and the projections.
What are we at? 69,000, 70,000?
For residence-wise, we're
Population.
72 change at the last
72?
census. But our school numbers, and we're down about, I want to say, I just forgot what the exact number is, but we're down about 600 students
Really?
on its way to 8, and the projection is declining. Most of that's because of the charter schools and Davies. So the
Right,
outside,
right.
you know,
All drawing from the same
right.
pool.
And traditionally, you know, what will happen, you know, based on past practice, when the new high school is built, right, there's going to be excitement. It's going to be a great condition, new models.
Right.
So you'll draw some of those back. But, you know, right now, just on numbers alone, you could close 2, maybe 3 of our elementary schools and maybe 1 of our junior highs. And for the next 40, 50 years, you'd still have enough capacity.
Wow.
Like they built Baldwin. Baldwin was a small school. They've got extra.
Wasn't that the highest populated school in the state?
At one point, I think they were, yes.
Yeah.
Now, even at at max, we're still going to have 200 some odd seats available.
It's a big school.
Right, it's a great school. Right?
Oh
It's gonna
my
be great.
God.
We're doing, like, they're going to be in, thank God.
Beautiful
They'll
school.
be in for August, you know. And there's all these things that are happening. Like I said,
I talked to one of the workers
Yeah.
last week, and I said, I thought it was going to be next year it's open. They go, no, we'll be in here. We'll be done late August. Holy good God.
Yeah.
And I see the trucks over there this morning bringing furniture in there.
it's funny because, you know, not knowing the system, the same thing happened with the soccer stadium. Like, you're a couple months out and they were opening up their May game, and you're sitting there going, because you don't know, right? You know,
Right.
but you're looking at it going, ooh, are they going to make it? Right? Then
Right.
all of a sudden, right, everybody's in, right?
Last
It's what
minute.
they do, they know how to do it, and
Yep.
they get it done, you know? So
Yeah.
they'll be in there, I forget when school opens, the 20-something. I want to say maybe the 26th, but they will be in there, you know, day one. So they will have that, you know, the fire, all the suppression systems, all of that, they're all ready to go, so.
Now, what are they going to do about, there's got to be some conflict between Shea and West. Don't they have that rivalry going?
You always worry about it, and I say this, right? We're older, right? So we think that way, but I don't think it's going to be as challenging as it's been, because over the last 5-8 years, because sports are diminishing and our enrollment is diminishing,
Right, yeah.
they've already been doing unified games. So they have like a unified
they have
soccer
been.
team, yeah. They have a unified basketball team. So there's some of that. Don't get me wrong, right? Now they're all going to travel to a new area and new population, but, you know, statistics will show they'll be fine. But in our mind, just sitting there going, because we used to be, right, we joke about it. We grew up on the west side of the river, right?
Right.
You didn't go across the river.
Nope.
Right? That's
Nope.
how we were brought up and
That's
trained.
right.
You stayed, if
That's
you went
right.
over there, you didn't know what was going to happen to you, right? And there's still that mentality with all of us, right? It's not the way they think, but.
Right.
But
What about St. Mary's School? Are they doing anything with that building?
No, so the developer,
Now that building I definitely would buy.
so I don't know what they, so we haven't, the commerce team has reached out to them. I don't know.
I
because-
did 9 years in that school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Quick story. So that was bought by an out-of-state developer. He bought that and the rectory.
Right.
They did, him and his family, and I just can't, I'm horrible with names. Great family. They renovated the rectory. And they
Right.
started renting that out. They had come in front of it. It was when I was on the council. So you're talking, what,
16 years
18
ago.
years ago or so. They had come in front of the council, and they had a plan to renovate the school, and then they got permission to add another 1 or 2 buildings in the back to maximize the capacity.
Right.
The market at that time wasn't there.
Tanks.
They had tanks. So now we're out there reaching on, because that is an important property. It, you know, could bring a lot of value, especially with all our
Right.
housing needs.
Well-
And then across the way, you know, I'll do the Pawtucket thing on East Ave, but the old East Ave Cafe.
Right.
So there's a bunch of, I don't know if you know, there's a group that have bought the old, where the pet, how come I can't think, the doctor's office?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They bought
and
that.
the buildings next to it.
They didn't get the 2, it's interesting, so they've got the commercial, they don't have the 2 houses that are front and back,
Oh.
but then they have the other commercial.
Right.
So they were just in front of the planning commission. I forgot how many units, but 100 and some odd
I
units.
saw that. I saw
And
that.
so that we're attracting that. It's the stadium, it's the waterfront. We are, you know, Providence, when they were going through their resurgence many years ago, It's Pawtucket now.
Well, you got to increase your population by about 20,000 the way things are going.
And the good thing about
And wait a minute, that should make my taxes
that's
go
what I'm just
down.
gonna go. Now, and I say the balance is because we don't want to price our people out, right? The people that can't afford it, right? That's
Right.
You know, there are people that are need. So that's why we try to do the mixed use, the affordable income. There's a balance. There's no perfect number.
Right.
All our property values go up, but we don't want them where we're all cost out. And then with new development, absolutely, it offsets the taxes because the taxes, everything's going up, you know, except our retirement money.
Now, hey, now you think, we talked about
Yeah.
the guy you got to meet up with, my former councilman years ago.
Yeah.
And I came across this. It's got your name on it.
Uh-oh.
All right? This is from
This is not
years
good.
ago. I had, as a photographer,
Yep.
I don't know if you remember, there used to be old 20 by 30 foot pictures on the walls all through the city hall.
Yeah.
Right, with all
the
things-
mayors and stuff, right?
Huh?
With the mayors, right? Or,
No, not mayors. No, this was all scenes. That was all like
Oh, yeah, no,
historic places. and
Yeah,
like
you
the
had
li-
done them in the council chambers,
like the
right?
library,
Yeah,
and
and you had taken some, right? If I
I
remember.
took them all.
And the council had put them in their chambers. I don't know if I forgot if they changed, but they had one representing each of the districts.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
yep.
Well, I did them all. Ray Hu took them out.
Okay,
Took
okay.
them out off the walls.
It goes
I'm
back
going
to
to give
the
you
history.
these are all pictures of around the city. Oh, this
Yeah,
Fair
Daniel
lawn.
Green, yep.
read. Oh no.
Yeah,
McCoy Stadium, and sadly,
I know.
it wasn't.
Oh, it was mixed.
I mean, you tried
No,
your
listen,
best,
right,
but
it was
you
just-
were up against the Speaker of the House,
Right.
St.
Oh,
Jean,
yeah,
St. Jean
yeah.
the Baptist.
Still very active. That's where my wife and I were married.
Really?
Yep.
And there's that church. That's over there where you were talking about earlier,
That's the
Manning
Pat-
and Heffron.
Yeah, that's the Pawtucket congregation.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, it was. I don't know if it still is, but it was up for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A couple of outside developers looking. That becomes kind of a hotspot area, right? Because
Yeah,
of
oh,
what's
it's
gonna happen
beautiful.
there,
You're right
yeah.
at the water. You got the waterfall right there.
And you look at St. Edward's is talking about Pawtucket, right? So the
Yeah.
Brady, no, it's not Brady
On
Sullivan.
Whedon
It's
Street.
Chris Starr, his development. But they've turned the rectory, the church, and the school into all apartments.
Right.
They're unbelievable. They're beautiful. They built across in the parking lot. They're better than 95% full as well. So people want to be here, right? We've got the amenities. We've got the brewery. We're focusing in on what we call safe streets, right? For biking, for pedestrians.
Right.
So there's a lot of there was a lot of federal money out there. So
We're running out of time
All right,
here,
I
but I
can
do
talk-
want to. What are we going to do with the homeless?
that is a challenge. So, I say it's a state problem, but it's our problem. The state is looking at trying to incentivize communities. So we went out and we opened up 1199 Main Street. We converted that into a shelter.
That's a bad spot, though. It's too out there in your face.
That's the challenge, right? Is we're having problems with
It's right where Main Street and Pawtucket Avenue and North Main meet.
right, all me. That was the building available, right?
Right.
They're doing a better job now because of the controlling it, but we can't turn our backs on them, right?
No,
that's
I
I
agree.
know you're
I
not.
agree.
We have like Project Weber Renew. They're over on Broad Street, okay, over near Kennedy Manor. They are out, supporting those with addictive behaviors,
Right.
providing tools. The businesses are dying over there because they're out there hanging around.
Exactly. Look at what it did to the Cup and Saucer downtown.
And that's the challenge, right?
Yeah, when you have the injection centers right next
Absolutely.
door. I mean, you got to have a coffee. You got to sit there and have a breakfast.
And
next
that's why
to them.
we need to do this. I think the governor, to his credit, is taking on a lot of this
Right.
and trying to put them in the right places because we all recognize we have the responsibility and we have the need. It's again, and people take sometimes the wrong perspective. It's either like, oh, no, or yeah, and it doesn't matter where. There has to be a better approach as to where you house these, right?
But we can't keep giving them to Pawtucket.
Right.
We can't be the dumping ground
No,
for everybody else.
And we have the challenge. I mean, legally, and I don't mean to talk Europe, but legally, like when they're living on city property, we have to go through an eviction process.
Unbelievable.
Right, and there's a balance, and some of these folks really want help, and we need to help them, and then others are so far that no matter
don't
what you
want.
do, and we've got Rob Runge, who's on our staff, who works for planning. He's out being our homeless coordinator. He's out working with them, getting them the services, because again, we have the responsibility. We can't just throw them out, or leave them
No,
there.
I agree that,
But
but you got to
it's the
find a
right-
better spot
absolutely, it's the
for
right
them.
spot.
Like
Agreed.
right on Main Street, across from St. Jean's, not St. Jean's, the elderly, on Main Street there.
No, well, you
Little
got-
Sisters of the
Little-
Poor.
Oh, yeah.
Right across the street, there's
That-
two
there's a couple of them,
alcoves
I
there.
know, I
They're
know.
living. I go by them every day. I feel bad for them.
Right.
But by the same token,
It's not fair,
They gotta,
right?
they got to do better.
And we'll be out there, and we try to, with a lot of the nonprofits, and I say that homeless coalitions, and we're out there. They have every right to do what they're doing, right? That's the challenge. It's not like legally you
Right.
can't get out. You have to do a process. They have rights as well.
You know what they should have? They should have a place where they can take a shower. Some of these people might do something better if they, because you always feel better after you take a shower.
And that's what we did at 1199, right? They renovated that, so there's showers in there. Like Project Grebien,
Really?
they partnered with Shower to Empower. They come in.
Showers and washing machines.
Yeah.
So they don't have to put the dirty clothes back on.
And that's what, I mean, to the governor's credit, that's what he's been doing. He's identified some of the older, I say the underutilized properties throughout the state. And that's, you need all-around services, right? It's not just putting them in a roof over their head. It's making
Right.
sure that we provide them as much as we can. So, you're right.
Well, it's been great.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I gotta do
always
this
good
more for
having
that.
you.
I talk less if you come out, let me come on more.
No, you're a good guest and you're a good guy.
Thank you.
You
Well,
know,
I appreciate it. We're doing stuff. It's exciting times, right? And it's a challenge, like I said.
Right.
And, we try to be as transparent as we can and open. And, people call, grab you. The littlest thing is our responsibility, and you try to fix it. Thank God the potholes are not as bad. We've invested a lot of dollars
Right.
in the streets, but we still have our challenges. So, but thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
all right, Mayor Don Grebien. And Don,
you,
Mayor,
Bob. Appreciate
thank you
it.
for
Don is
stopping
good.
by
Thank
and
you, Mike.
spending an hour with Bob.
All right. Beautiful.
All right, hang here for a second.
Thank you. You got it.
We'll be right back on an hour with Bob with our next guest. All right, we're back on an hour with Bob. That was a good interview, I think, with the mayor of the city of Pawtucket. But now we got a good friend of mine on. He is also an inventor, and you may know him as one of the two Cruz brothers, the largest cruise group in New England, at the very least, and one of the biggest in the country. But Russell Gelfuso is with us. Russell, how you doing?
Very good, Bob. Thanks for having me on the show again. And I come in with many hats. Last time I came as a comedian.
Right.
This time I'm coming as an inventor, but more so an inventor who is trying to prevent other inventors from getting ripped off.
All right.
And how I figured out exactly how they won't get ripped off is getting ripped off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you think about how long
Well,
I've been doing this.
Right,
20
right.
years.
20 years. 20 years.
About 20 years.
Is this your original invention? I mean,
That-
your
That's
patent?
my original patent, but then that's just for the United States. Then there are patents for
Europe?
international patents.
Right.
Yeah, and you just have to pick out which countries you want to try to protect. And even that, it's so expensive to protect a patent once you get it granted.
So wait a minute. Do you have to protect every country?
Every country. Yeah,
Oh, my
sure.
God.
And that's, it's ridiculous amounts of money.
Crazy money. Because then you got to deal with lawyers from that country too, right?
Right. And the other thing is, one of the other big inventors in Rhode Island, he had.
The Ginsu?
You said it, not me. I'm trying not to get sued. That's another lawyer. But anyway, he was telling me he had something like 40 lawsuits going at one time. And finally, his lawyer said, "Are you in the business of making knives, or are you in the business of preventing other people from making knives? Because it's real expensive, so you have to choose your battles."
Right.
But fortunately for me, the eyewear industry is controlled by a few companies.
And most of them are in Italy, aren't they?
Most
the
are
big
in
ones?
Italy. Yeah, but then they manufacture in China.
Right, yeah, I
and,
know, but the controlling
corporates,
interest
yeah.
is in Italy.
Yeah, and then of course we have Foster Grant here.
Foster Grant, I believe, started in Central Falls.
Yeah, I think it did.
Because I remember as a kid, I always had convertibles, and I always wore Foster Grants.
Right.
And I used to have a connection over there. And,
Oh, is that right?
yeah. I used to have the box full of them. I used to have all the pairs.
They invented the drugstore glasses.
Right.
They are the first ones to go to China to get them made in China.
Really?
And actually a guy named Dan Triangelo, who had a jewelry company in Providence or North Providence, he was the one that went to China and negotiated it. And I think one of the most amazing stories is he went over there, he got the deal, they brought, I'm not sure how many tens of thousands of pair that he brought over, and unfortunately, the first shipment, they were snapping. The glasses, the temples were snapping.
Right.
The temples were snapping off. So he went to an Italian jeweler, and he said, "What do I do? Because I got problems here." You know.
Well, that's where the Italians came in.
Yes, and this guy said, get a bunch of people, line them up with Q-tips and extra virgin olive oil. Dip the Q-tip in the
What are you
olive
making,
oil.
a salad? What are you doing?
Close. Well, they could have made a real good salad with all the broken glasses. But he said they had these people sitting down and they put a dab of olive oil on each hinge. And he saved the whole order.
So the hinges bent as they should.
Yes.
The hinges worked as they should, like putting 556 or WD-40 on a hinge on the door.
And extra virgin olive oil works better than that.
It smells better too.
Better, yes, it's true. And I use it now. I use it with my stuff, with my glasses.
I use it with a salad, making a salad.
Well, you can do that while you've got your glasses on.
Really?
You won't break your glasses when you take them off to eat the salad. But let me go back to the history. You know, all inventions came from somewhere, out of desperation.
Right.
When I was at the Cruise Brothers, I'd always have people come in, and it was very frustrating. We could save them a lot of money on a cruise, but then they'd come in and say, I left my glasses by the pool.
Right.
I broke my glasses when I was doing something, water sports.
And some people pay a lot of money for their sunglasses. My God.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot. And so, you know, I was just kind of sitting there, and I said, I wonder if I could invent glasses that you can't lose, you can't break, and you can't get stolen. And or if you're fishing, they won't slide off your face.
Right.
The other thing with sunglasses or regular any eyewear, it makes dots on your nose.
Right.
And it gets painful after
Exactly.
a while.
I used to wear glasses back when I was a kid in high school. Before I had LASIK surgery, I wore glasses. And yeah, you're right. It gets your nose, you get the marks on your nose. Plus, like you said, it hurts after a while.
Especially if you got thick lenses.
Right, right.
The heavier it is. So I ended up, as you know, getting sick, and I was hot. You know, I was bedridden, and finally one day I said, I got to get a table, like a tray table, and I asked my wife to go to the mall and get me a bunch of metal glasses, metal sunglasses, and I said, get me a torch, get me pliers, get me all kinds of stuff. And I figured
Something
out
to
a
do.
way.
You wanted something
Well,
to do.
I couldn't do anything. I was really, really impaired. So I sat there with a mirror, a makeup mirror, and
Just to make sure you look good?
well, because the whole idea is the pivot. The pivot is the most important thing to make them swing out of the way, out of your line of vision, but come down close enough to your face so that you don't have light coming in from the sides.
Now, the pivot is kind of like what the baseball players use
Yes.
in the outfield, right?
Yeah. But they only wear them on the front of the cap. I mean, in the front.
Right.
See, that's how I ended up getting the patent, was because mine clip inside. And if I can,
Go ahead.
where are we?
No, right here. Right here.
Oops, going the wrong way. There. So they clip inside the sweatband.
Right.
So they don't,
So they don't touch your nose at all.
they don't touch your nose
Don't
at
touch
all.
your ears either.
They don't touch your ears, and they don't even have nose pads. Because as we all know, nose pads will gutter the sweat down onto the lenses.
Right, yeah.
It eliminates everything. It's like you don't even have them on.
Yep.
And you can wear them with the cap going forward or backwards. A lot of things going into a patent that you have to, when you first start a project, of course, you have to figure out, is it economically viable? You know, you could make the best paintbrush in the world.
Right. But if
and
it costs too much money,
if people aren't going to buy it,
right.
That's all. And they don't care how much better it is if they know they can buy 10 of them.
Right.
And, you know, I could invent a paintbrush that you never have to wash out, or it comes clean every time, which I don't want to say right now. I'll have to call my lawyers when I leave here. No, but I'm just, you know, just kidding around, though. You could put a hose connection or something in the back of your paintbrush.
Right.
And you turn it on when you're done, and it flushes all the paint out.
Well, let's invent that.
I kind of just did while we were sitting there, but I really wouldn't pursue it.
Now, what happened? You started to talk about how people get screwed with
Oh my
patterns.
God! There are so many ways to get ripped off. Not only by and it's really troubling. You see these companies, these national companies with these national celebrities, and these sports figures, and all these other people that come out and say, "Hey, do this." I'm not saying what sport it is, but boy, it's a knockout if you work with this company.
Right.
And the truth is, a lot of the guys that do this, these invention companies, one of them, the CEO, got taken out in handcuffs because 0.001% of the products that he supposedly helped.
That's 1,000th of a percent.
0.01?
That's a 100th of a percent.
All right. 100 out of 14,000 inventors
Wow.
that submitted stuff to him and paid a lot of money.
Right.
0.1%
Wow.
got in a store and made a profit. It's 5%. This is another figure that's amazing. 5% of the people in the United States who file for a patent, get a patent granted, will get stuff on the shelf.
5%.
5%. That's why there are other companies that you can go through that you can license your product.
Right.
You can, you know, so you can get royalties, or you can just sell the whole idea. Another one is, how much time do we have?
4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Oh, all right. Another one is Shark Tank. I want to just tell you, 45,000 applications end up at Shark Tank every year.
Wow.
Of that, they'll pull 4,500 of those.
Right.
Of that, they'll review 450.
Oh, God, wow.
Of that,
45?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
150 shows will be made. So
Wow.
100 out of 45,000. So if you're sitting there waiting for the phone to ring, forget it. But the most disturbing part is, of that number, 30% of those deals that are made on the show and the hugs and the victory dance, 30% of those deals will get canceled by the sharks because they find out the people lied about their sales, about their profits, and another 30% will get canceled by the entrepreneurs because they can't live up to what they said.
Right. They can't make them. They can't make as many as they need to make.
Right.
So you're at 60% of 150, right? So you're at 50.
Right. And
40 or 50,
yeah, but here's the thing. Those people, that doesn't mean it's making a profit.
Right.
There are some huge hits like Scrub Daddy, The Brush, the one that I think Lori was on. Yes, that guy made a fortune. It went crazy. It was a scrub brush.
Right.
But most of them don't make money. So the whole thing is you have to really do your due diligence before you get involved with a manufacturer, a patent attorney, a designer. There's so much to it. And so...
How much longer we got before these come out? When
September 6th.
September 6th?
They'll be here. They'll be here. Which
Really?
Means, yeah.
The actual
Yep.
glasses or just the...
I got the 1,000 pair coming, done, ready to go in the box.
Really?
Yeah. But...
and what kind of frames are they? Is that the frames or just the...
No, it's the whole thing. It's the whole... Is it this way? Yeah. It's the whole thing. The frame, the lenses.
Put it on. There you go.
Yeah. So...
Look at that, huh?
See? You thought it would be easy? It wasn't, but it took a long
20
time.
years. 20 years.
20 years to get it right. Here's the ones that...
That's the original.
Yeah. That was the original. They didn't have the swivels on them. There were so many things. But again, we ended up partnering up with really Italy's top eyewear designers, and from all the big companies, because they were interested in it. Because, if you sit there making glasses every day of your life, and then all of a sudden you see something that does something that no other glasses do,
right,
you want to be a part of it.
So again, you can wear with your hat backwards, your hat
backwards,
forward,
and you
right,
just flip them out of the way when you don't.
And they don't touch your nose.
No.
They don't touch your ears even. That's
No.
the other thing I hated. I hated glasses on my ears, sticking on my ears.
Some people, it's so funny. Some people just have a pet peeve about it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, but
That's why I went for the LASIK surgery, to get rid of glasses.
yeah, but you need sunglasses. See,
That's right.
you can
This is true.
interchange the frame fronts on these. You can put goggles on.
Right.
That's another thing. So it's all part of the patent process.
Right, that's right. A working guy could have them on his, yeah.
Safety lenses.
Safety lenses.
Reading lenses.
Yep.
They're the most comfortable pair. But again, it took years and years.
Right, right.
And a lot of times you'll see a product, you say, boy, this is really neat.
I wish I would have thought that.
I just wish it had this, or wish
Right,
it had that.
right.
Well, if it's $100,000 to make the molds, and once the molds are made, oh
$100,000.
yeah, and that's just for one pair, one design.
Right.
So, but a good mold, if you get a perfect mold, and the Italians, they basically have perfected the
Right.
process, they will produce 1 million pieces.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
it's a lot.
And
to
again,
it.
they control the whole thing, just about, right? They control about, from what I've read, about 90% of the industry.
60%.
That's all?
They
I thought
own,
it was more than that.
No, they own Provision Center. They own Sunglasses Hut. They own the insurance companies. They are Oakley, Ray-Ban, all of them. They will force you out. Hopefully they'll force me out. That's what I'm waiting to be forced. So, yeah, so.
Well, I can see all athletes, all baseball players wearing those
Fishermen.
glasses. Fishermen.
And I gotta tell you, everybody kicks Rhode Island.
Yep.
And I had a lady at the Warwick Mall, and she looked at my glasses and said, "Are you an inventor?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, what did you invent?" I said, "Well, I invented these glasses." And she said, "Well, what else did you invent? Like, you had to invent 2 things." I said, "You ever hear of beefaroni?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that was mine." And then she called me a name. So I guess I got to go out and invent something else.
Russell Gelfuso, folks. Thanks for spending part of an hour with Bob.
Thank you.
And good luck with the glasses.
Thank
I'll
you.
be looking forward to sunglasses in September.
I'll get you a pair.
And if my eyes don't get fixed, maybe I'll be needing glasses.
I'll get you a dog.
I'll give
And
you
you
a
still
seeing
get
eye dog, right?
Yes.
And a pair of glasses.
They'll be solid.
Folks, and thank you for spending an hour with Bob and Russell. Until next time, see ya.